Wakeboarding. It's basically like snowboarding behind a boat.
People like to compare it to like longboarding and snowboarding because I would say those are the sports that are really similar to this sport actually.
When I started, I thought it was really hard, but then I grew to really love the sport. Ever since I got into the water and I kept failing, I just wanted to make sure I could go on those rails because I thought it looked really cool.
It started from behind the boat. You're being towed by a boat. It's like putting a snowboard while you're on the water.
Because of technology nowadays, instead of riding behind the boat using the wakes the boat makes, we use cables that pull us, and we just place like ramps, rails, and we could just hit it like a lot of different ways. There's actually a lot to learn, or there's a lot of moves and tricks with wakeboarding. Now that we have cable wakeboarding, we have different varieties of rails, of ramps, and everything.
It's like, for example, you can do a back roll on the water, or you can do a rail hit, which is very complicated and it's very different from all the different skill sets you have. Like, you can be good at surface railies, or you can be good at rail hits, or you can be good at kickers. It really depends on what you want to do.
I think wakeboarding is different from surfing and other water sports, mainly because you have something pulling on you.
Wakeboarding, you're being pulled by a cable that's going at 30 to 32 kilometers per hour.
Surfing, you use the nature to do your sport.
A lot of the tricks in wakeboarding are based off the tension that's given to you or the speed of the cable.
So you really have to master your upper body and your balance. Unlike surfing or snowboarding, where you're not really holding anything and you just use the flow of the environment to bring you around. Well, I've been wakeboarding for 1 year and 5 months.
I've been wakeboarding for a year and a half now.
I've been riding for 6 to 7 years, I think.
I got into wakeboarding firstly because we went on a school trip back in high school. We visited this Wakepark, and unlike many of my other friends, I got hooked into the sport and I haven't stopped.
My friend Parker, who's now a really freaking good wakeboarder too, he brought me here out of nowhere, and I was like, oh no, we just got into it. It was really fun from then, and ever since then we haven't stopped.
Basically, I got into wakeboarding due to my cousins. We went out one night, and then they told me that there's a new sport in Batangas. So we tried it out. Then we started lifestyle riding, from drinking and just doing it. Then it progressed to here that I compete every year.
I've won 2 awards, one last year and one early this year. Last year was the 7th Philippine Nationals. I've won 2nd place in a junior men's division and one in Lago de Oro. It's a bit down south. I think I won 3rd place there.
Recently, I just won a month ago, I think, in Davao. 1st place, Masters Division. That's from ages from 30 to 39.
I've been competing, and even though I haven't won any awards yet, I do think maybe later on, and hopefully that I will win some awards too.
If you ask me, I like to teach beginners. I give them tips based on experience.
First, you have to learn how to get on the water first, because the tension of the rope, it's hard to master sometimes, and it really pulls you.
We only just teach the basics, like standing at first, and then doing 180 switching, and then doing the jumps, the ollie. And then from there, it's basically easy. If as long as you have your basics down, you can try anything.
What I tell them on this certain trick, I just tell them what I personally do when I do the trick. And I think that's probably the best way to teach someone.
I have learned that there's so many other complicated things you can do. It's like a subject basically, where you have to explore all the tricks, all the different types of variations and stuff. Things that you find easy to do, and there's things that you find really hard to do.
Wakeboarding is a demanding sport. I started wakeboarding when I was 300 pounds. I broke both of my knees due to overweight. So then my doctor told me that your sport is demanding enough. You should always be in shape. Because I used to ride and drink at the same time, but now when I ride, I just ride.
The status of wakeboarding in the Philippines is, I wouldn't like to say that it's pretty popular because not a lot of people actually get into the sport. I mean, that I know of. So I meet all these different people from different places. It's a big community. It's a big, small community actually. So some people come in, some people go out.
I think right now it's kind of getting there, like skateboarding itself and BMX. It's kind of going up at the same rate as well.
Lately, a lot of newcomers have been coming, buying boards and trying it out. But then sometimes people find it very hard to get into the sport since it's very expensive. And so and it's sometimes very difficult too for them to learn. So instead they sort of just give up. But then if you're really into the sport, then people just end up getting so much better at it.
We sometimes get coverage already around national, but not just international. Because international, like a lot of people really follow wakeboarding scenes. But as a local here national here in the Philippines, a lot of people that are getting interested to the sport.
Right now, I don't think wakeboarding in the Philippines is as commercialized as like basketball and football and all those other sports. But I believe that it's slowly growing because we have wake parks in the Philippines popping up everywhere.
If I'm not mistaken, we already have like 6 wake parks in the Philippines. There's one in Clark, there's another in Pampanga, there's the one here, this one, Camsur, the one in Lago, and then the one in Cebu. I think we have a bright future for the wakeboarding industry. We always have sun, like we're always summer. It's just summer and rainy season here. Not like in the other countries, they stop because there's snow, there's winter. Whole year round, you can wakeboard.
The thing about wakeboarding, there are a lot of like 9, 10, 12-year-olds that are really good. So I'm pretty sure when they hit like 18, 19, the sport should be pretty commercialized in the Philippines by then. I'm sure there are going to be like a lot more kid riders and a lot more Filipino riders.
Well, I think it's gonna get so much bigger here in the Philippines and internationally too. Wakeboarding is a really cool sport. It's just that people have to get more views on it. They have to like check on it and see how much of a cool sport it really is.
If anything, if you do go wakeboarding the first time, don't mind that you fall a lot like in the start because I'm pretty sure everyone has been through that.
You really have to commit to the sport itself because if you don't commit and you end up giving up, it's going to be very hard for you to progress. And it's so much more fun once you've been doing it for a while because you can actually do the stuff that you see on the water.
Just have fun, basically. Like, don't feel bad about falling or anything.
It's a fun sport. Anyone can do it, even how big you are, how old you are. It's really fun. And it has a different high. It has a different stroke every time you do something new.
But like I said again, practice makes perfect.